All right, guys. My goal today with this lesson is to show you that it's the same with variables. It's the same with variables, which remember, these variables right here, they stand for an unknown amount of these. Okay. It's not five of them, although it looks like maybe five could fit, right? No, it's like an unknown amount. It could be five, it could be negative. No, not negative. It could be a million, right? It's some unknown amount. Think of this as a container that contains all of that. All right. So that being said, all right. So there's a lot of subtraction going on right here, and so this could possibly be confusing to you. I have 2x, and then well, I have positive 2. The rest of this is like subtraction, right? Well, first, let me just be. I'm gonna show you again from the first lesson how to be tricky with this. -4 is the same as having four negatives. You could just say that's four negatives, and you could just go like this, right? And then the same is true of -5x. Um, and your question might be, Kalama, how do you want us to simplify? Do you want us to use the trick that you taught in the last lesson, or just want to solve anyway? And the answer is solve anyway. Okay, but probably the quickest way would be to look at it like this. I've got two x's. I've got -4, four negatives. I've got five negative x's, and I've got two positives. And now I'll just zero pair this whole dang thing. Boom, there's your answer, right? Or I can't control Z this. So let me set this up. Or you could look at it like this and say, here's my only positive stuff. Well, here's the things I know. I got 2x and I've got 2, and I want to take away 4. And you're like, well, in order to do that, I got to have 4, but I can't just willy nilly um, add 4. I got to like also make sure to have the negatives, right? And then -5x, same thing, or taking away 5x. I got to have 5x is to take away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just to make sure I have equal parts negative, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I know at this point you guys are like, come on, all that really. I get it. I get it. But all right, so what we're gonna do here then is just really just zero pair everything, right? I got 2x and I want to take away 5x. I want to take away 4. So here we go. I'm gonna take away 4. Cool. Then I want to take away 5x. Well, cool. I just so happen to have 5x right there. And then I want to add 2. Okay, cool. Well, but before I do that, I'm going to zero out these two with these two right here. Let me get a different color with these two right here. And so what do we have? We have -3x right here. And then, oh, look, we got positives and negatives. So dink, 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 -2. This is a long way to do it, but I don't know. Everyone's minds work differently. All right. So let's do a guided problem together, and then we'll send you off to practice. Let's do it on this video. Why not? All right. Do this example with me. This is an example where you might need the tricky way. I don't know. Maybe you guys will have other non-tricky ways to do this, but this might be a way where you definitely need the tricky way. So remember, we don't have negatives. We don't have negatives, x squareds. Oops, let me make that an x squared. My bad. We don't have negative x squared, so remember we're gonna be kind of tricky, and we're gonna darken these guys to show that they're negative. Whatever, they're negative, and I'm gonna like get a little pen and say -2x. There we go. All right, then let's bust out the positive. Oh no. So then I want to take away 5 negative x's. I want to take them away. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make them all negative. There we go. And then I'm going to have an equal amount of positives because remember, I can't just change this problem and just throw something willy-nilly into this problem unless I'm throwing nothing into the problem, and that's technically what I'm doing. All of this is nothing, right? Okay. So at this point, I do have 5x's, x squareds I can take away. I'm take away all of these guys, all right? Then I have some zero pairs going on. I got these two negatives. We'll cross out with these two positives, okay? And so then my remaining answer is these three right here, 3x squared. All right, let's do one more problem. All right, now that was a pretty quick lesson. So while we're at it, I want to add a little thing, which is like, what do you do with these parentheses? How do we visualize this? And just, you guys remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The same thing is here, where we want to work with the parentheses first when we model. Now, we don't have the letter B, we have X. It's the same thing. So here I'm going to have 2B, all right? And then I'm going to have plus 2. Now, I'm going to ignore that minus for a second because you know how minusing can get kind of weird, right? I mean, if you wanted to real quick, you could just pull out 3 negatives. If that's the way you want to roll, cool. I'm not going to right now. I'm going to save the subtraction for later. It's up to you. Now, what does that 4 mean? It's kind of like this, guys. It's kind of like, here's an envelope. Here's an envelope right there, okay? And if I put a 4 next to it, it means I have 4 envelopes. That's the same with the parentheses. Imagine that these parentheses right here are an envelope, and everything in the envelope is happening 4 times. All right, so I've rearranged it, guys. See, here's 2b, 2x, and then 2. Now, the reason I did that is watch. When I highlight it, I can copy it down and make 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. There's 4 of 2b plus 2. All right. Now the minus 3 part is super easy. Hardly even an inconvenience. All I have to do, 1 second. Hello, hello, hello. All I have to do is now take away 3. And so what do I have? I have 8 x's or 8 b's in this case. Don't worry, I won't mind if you mess up with that. I have 8 b's. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 5. That's it. All right. Now, do one with me. All right. You know me. I love the letter K. So we're going to work with a ton of K's here. And we're going to think the same thing. We're going to have, we're going to model, instead of K, we're going to do X. And here's 2 of those X's. And then here's 1. And then there's 3 more of those X's. Now, obviously, when you draw it, you're not going to have to make this big, long line like this, right? You can organize it however you want. It's just, I think for the purposes of copying on this mat, that's kind of why I'm making this big line like here. And I'm going to ignore, again, I'm going to ignore that negative 6x. And I've just arranged all the x's to be together. Why? Because it's just easier that way. And now watch, I'm going to highlight all this, and I'm going to make 8 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So whatever was going on in those parentheses is now happening 8 times. And all I have to do is take away 6 of the K's, or in this case, the X's. All right. If that's confusing, please let me know. I'd like feedback on that. I figured you guys are like smart enough to not get thrown off by that. But so here we go. Just let me know. So there I go. I'm gonna get rid of these 6 X's. There it is. So I have 8, 16, 24, 29, 34 K's or X's. It just means a bunch of containers full of I don't know how much, right? And then I have 8. See, guys, these algebra tiles allow you to do some pretty complicated stuff. Make sure you show this in your packet.